Well, hey there. Welcome to Traction REIA's main meeting for all our regions, March 2023. Time flies. I feel like I'm always saying that, but time does. It always flies. It's good. So there's some really cool stuff going on tonight that I'm super excited about. So if you know, like the first half hour of this meeting, we did breakout rooms, get everyone in kind of much more private, small group discussions, sometimes one-on-one or one with a few people, really get you to know some other investors. And the convenient thing here is it's investors from all over the country. It works out really well. Now, what we're going to spend the meeting on, we're going to do a market update. We're going to take you through the different kinds of benefits and things that we offer people. And then the big main show is I've got Matt Kamp coming from DealMachine. Now, DealMachine, this has been like a crazy toy that I've absolutely loved using lately. What a great way. It's totally revolutionized the way I look for deals in terms of driving for deals. Driving for deals I've always loved doing, but it always had a downside. Like it always left me a list of things to do. Now most of that to-do list is gone. So you're going to really love what Matt has later. And we're rolling this into an entire 7-day challenge that will start tomorrow. We'll give you all information about that in a little bit. So let's see. I started talking about time flying by, and it does. But goodness me, you realize it's the end of March 2023. The first quarter of the year is basically gone, right? It's in the can. Are you happy with what's happened? Do you remember any of your New Year's resolutions? Or did your New Year's resolutions fall by the wayside? That happens a lot, right? It's just a weird thing. That's one of the reasons why, you know, I'm big on always getting people the clarity and movement, because when you're moving, clarity lets you move. And then when you start moving, you get momentum. As long as you keep that momentum going, keep that process going, it comes from you, right? I'm going to lead you in the right direction, push you in the right way. We're going to have this challenge. We're going to get you moving. We're going to make things happen so that momentum will carry you. But you got to keep moving. That's the number one thing that we're after. So if you're finding that, for example, your New Year's resolutions haven't quite come true, maybe that's because you haven't kept any momentum. You never got clear really about it. It was just a hope, a dream, a wish. We want to get beyond that. We want to make it into a true resolution, something that you resolve to do to make that happen. There's a lot of time left in this year. There's plenty of time to meet the goals and achieve the success that you want to have. So let's get down to making that happen. That's what this is all about. So let me share my screen. Traction REIA, we're online this month. Our main regions are Washington, D.C., Tampa, and Sarasota, Florida. Online as well, because quite honestly, what we teach works nationwide. So you can join us on these online events, which we're doing every few months. You can kind of thank COVID for that, right? People got used to some things being online, and we'll probably do at least a meeting a quarter, let's say 3 to 4 a year online, because it's everyone's demanding it. They want it that way. It's awesome. So great. We can join, and it's convenient. I see some people driving around, see some people in their desks, at their rooms, in their office, some people with fake backgrounds. So it looks like where you really want to be. It's all good that way. So it's pretty cool. I kind of blazed right by an introduction, didn't I? If you don't know who I am, I'm Tom Zeeb. I'm the president of Traction REIA. I've been the president of Traction REIA now since 2008. So I was a member starting in, let's say, probably 2002 till 2008, when the fellows that ran the group asked me to take over. And my initial thought was, no way. Why on earth would I want to do that? That's a lot of work. And it is. But it's become work that I really love, because like the fellows that used to run it said, they said, Tom, you know, you kind of cut your teeth here. You grew up here. You set yourself free from your job here. Don't you want to pass that on and pay that forward? And I said, yes. So here we are, 14, almost 15 years later, loving it and very, very happy to be here and proud of what Traction REIA has become and what it's done for everyone, and the sheer number of success stories that we have with people. Now, we also have a bunch of attorneys that check on everything that we do. And my attorney says, Tom, you know, you really got to have a disclaimer. You're teaching people about making money. You're teaching people about doing real estate deals. You have to disclaim that there's no guarantees. So there aren't any guarantees. I can guarantee we're going to teach you and point you in the right direction, give you the clarity, the motivation, and the momentum to get there. But you actually have to do the work and the steps of the process to get there. So now that we've disclaimed, we can talk like grown adults. So it's really cool. I don't know how exactly you found out about us. You might have seen me speak somewhere. You might have found us on Facebook or joined the email list or Googled to find our website or some other sort of social media meetup. Who knows what it is? You know, you might remember where you found us. So I would love you to go back to where you found us and talk it up and spread the word. Because the number one way we can meet more great people just like you is to have you invite other great people like that. So always feel free to invite friends, send them to join the list, to get the goodies, to get the trainings that we offer, our online events, our in-person events. If you're in one of those regions, we would love to meet more great people just like you. It's a favor you do them. It's kind of, I said this in an email the other day, you wouldn't want to find out that your friend, you tell a friend about a great restaurant. They said, oh yeah, I've eaten there already. I wanted to tell you about it, but I haven't yet. You'd actually be kind of upset, right? You're telling them about something good. You would want them to do the same. So go ahead and invite your friends. It'll work out really well that way. Also, take a quick peek. I'm going to check as well to make sure, because when my kids play with my phone sometimes gets on a different level. So good. My phone is on off. Mute it out. That way you don't get distracted. I want you to focus for the next couple hours and just really stay in the zone. In a world that's really hard to stay in the zone these days. So we want to be in that zone. Find your chat button and find that chat box. And if you jump in there, I would love for you to put where you are connecting in from tonight. Because I told you we got a nationwide audience. So go ahead and let me know where you're from. Christopher from Knoxville, Tennessee. Paula in Leesburg, Virginia. We got Carolina right here in Sarasota sitting next to me. Brambleton, Virginia's Nicholas. Monique in McLean, Virginia. Christy from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Violet representing San Antonio in the house. Fantastic. Gino in Myrtle Beach. Good to see you, Gino. Gino, I saw your video before. It looked like you were inside of an airplane cockpit. That's awesome. Rose is in San Antonio as well. David in Clinton, Maryland. We've got Al in Woodbridge, Virginia. Don in Fairfax, Virginia. Aaron's in Maryland. Alicia is in Camden, New Jersey. Let's see what else. It's going so fast. I'm having a hard time keeping up with the scroll here. Nelson and Javanka in Gainesville, Virginia. Tatiana's in St. Augustine, Florida. Welcome. Jay from Denver. Kimberly from Maryland. Alice from Arizona. P. Roberts in the DMV. That, if you're not familiar with that area, it's the Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, aka the DMV, without the long lines of having to get a new driver's license. Alita is in Kansas City. Welcome in. We got Millie from Toledo, Darren in Pikesville, Maryland, Paul coming in from Longmont, Colorado. Let's see, we got Fosley in Arlington, Virginia, John in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. Love Cape Cod. Mark in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. Juan is in Asheville, Virginia. Melissa in Wisconsin. Okay, I'm gonna go fast now. We got Tampa, we got Fort Lauderdale, we got Florida, we got Washington, D.C., we got Oregon, we got Central Florida, the Villages. Yes, good work, Mark. Fredericksburg, Virginia, St. Paul, Minnesota, Washington, D.C., Maryland, Virginia, Maryland, New Jersey, couple New Jersey, D.C., Minneapolis, Rhonda visiting New York City, but up from New Jersey. Awesome. We got Kansas City with Angel. We got Cynthia in the DMV, and let's see, Pensacola, Florida, Kansas City. Awesome, guys. We got a good one. Thousand Oaks, California. I think James, you probably come the furthest there. Awesome. And Marianne in Cheltenham, Maryland. Woo! All right, I think I'm out of breath now. Gotta be careful what I ask for. I might wind up with a whole absolute realm of things. Oh, it was yeah. So yeah, good to know where everyone is. I thought of something else I wanted to show you. I'll show you later. Podcast wise, I am currently working on season number 5 of my Get Traction podcast. That season will be rolling out in the next couple of months. Meanwhile, we got the first 4 seasons ready for your listening pleasure. Just hit gettractionpodcast.com and it'll link you through to all the different places you listen to podcasts on: Apple, Google, Spotify, SoundCloud. You can just listen right on the website. So hit gettractionpodcast.com and dig through very meaty, in-depth trainings and interviews all about real estate investing, wholesaling, rentals, commercial, rehabs, all of it. It's all there for you. Now, also hit Amazon, type in Tom Zeeb. Cool thing about a really unique name, it's pretty easy to Google or search for. So you type Zeeb into Amazon, you'll see a couple books that I was a partner in with a couple of my groups, and you'll see this one, which is all me, specifically for flipping houses correctly. for a profit. I'll tell you, my attorney was proud when she saw the name. She said, wait a minute, correctly is a great word. I said, oh, Emily, you know, I did that for you because I know how she feels about things. She wants to make sure things are done right. So grab that book on Amazon. You can grab the Kindle copy, the soft copy as well. And probably in about 2 weeks, I'm going to have a audio version of it as well. So I have a narrator narrating it right now as well by popular demand. So keep an eye on that. I'm sure I'll email you about that as we go. We also have a Traction app on your phone. So all things Traction, whether you are on Apple or Android, it doesn't matter. Point your phone at that QR code or just go to tractionreal.com/app and you can load the Traction app, which we sometimes put out app-only freebies, app-only bonuses. It also has everything regarding all of our meetings, the daily trainings, which come out by email, but they're on the app as well. The whole podcast is on there. All the video trainings are on there. It's everything Traction in one spot. So hit tractionrea.com/app. All right, now we've done enough high-tech stuff. I'm going to do a very low-tech changeover, and Carolina's going to come over here and take you through a few cool things. Come on over, Carolina. And you've never sat in this exact seat before, have you?
Oh, man.
Do you understand what to do?
Yeah.
All right. You want a normal seat?
Let me see. Wow, it looks like a
Look at that. No one
Pulling to a
has a clue what
horse.
I'm talking about. It's literally like you're sitting on a horse. It's a kneeling chair. I fixed my back in 3 weeks with this thing. It's great.
man. Hello, people. So good to see you. Half of you I've met in person or online, and half of you I have never met. So I'm gonna take 45 seconds to tell you that my name is Carolina, not Carolina. Caroline. I know it's spelled like North or South Carolina, but it's spelled Carolina. I'm from Bogota, Colombia. That's where the accent is from. I moved into this beautiful country 2001, following the American dream. I did not find it at a job. I found it in real estate. I started with wholesaling with no money, no credit, no real estate license. And here I am now. I have rentals. I've done tons of flips. I've done tons of wholesaling, subject to lease option. And I have put the bandit signs. I have stick envelopes. I've done almost everything. And I love it. And this is what set me free. It wasn't my job. The American dream was doing real estate investing. So I'm very, very happy that you guys are now part of the Traction family. I'm here to help. I'm here to share knowledge. And our main goal at Traction is really to give you networking, education, support, love. We also give you laughter. So don't worry, jokes are coming in soon. Our goal is really show you how to fish, show you how to real estate fish, not give you the fish. All right, that's our big philosophy. We want you to succeed. We want you to take the right steps to make that happen. And we are here for you. So welcome everybody to the Traction family. And then I click, right? I haven't done this in a while. I always take this opportunity to thank our staff, ambassadors, volunteers. They are fantastic. We adore them. Crystal, Dwayne, Mark. Oh, we put Mark Duncan twice. I love it, Mark. It's because we love you so much, but it should be Ginny Hurley. So Mark, yeah, I see you there. So Mark Duncan, thank you so much. Double thank you to you, but thank you as well to Crystal and Dwayne. This is Crystal next to Tom, and I have Dwayne next to me. And then that's Mark, and that's Ginny. We love them, we adore them, and we always appreciate what they do for us. Okay, Tom mentioned we cover 2 main regions. Another piece of credibility that I want to give you in case you're visiting us for the first time is that we are the only approved chapter for the National REIA. What does that mean? The National Real Estate Investors Association. It's a big organization that has been in existence for years. And what they do is they keep an eye on what groups, REIAs, meetups, where people are teaching, saying about real estate. And we are the only ones in this particular regions that fulfill all those requirements. So we are really happy to be the National REIA chapter for these regions. And that's another stamp of credibility that I always want to share. And of course, let's brag a bit. Last year, we won the Award of Excellence. That is me with a physical award from the National REIA. That's Lori Hudson. I just didn't decide to take a photo and make my own award. No, this is an award that we we're in competition with I think 150 groups in the US that were represented here. So we're very happy. And guess what? Every single year we have won awards, and I like to brag, yes, but this is a really nice motivation for me to continue to provide amazing service, amazing education, amazing people, and to continue our REIA, Traction REIA, with a 5-star. So yes, I know it looks like we're bragging, and trust me, these are reals. We just didn't decide to take 5 different photos. You can see how I look younger and younger, right? People, come on. It's the Latina genes. And then you can see how Tom looks better and better, let's say that, but with less hair, right? Okay, I look better and better, but then Tom has less hair. Okay. Let's talk about our sponsors. Today we have Clear Sky, and I think I saw Sam. Sam, if you're there, do you want to mute for a bit? Do you want to talk? Do you want to just say hi?
Just say hi. Hi, everybody. I'm Sam Jackman. I'm with Clear Sky. So proud to be a sponsor. Charlie Einsman is most often representing us, but I'm covering for tonight. We do hard money lending. Be happy to help you with any of your hard money needs. We do transactional financing. We can close in 2 days. And I think the biggest value we offer is we are very concerned about your success. So we're evaluating your deal alongside you, helping you come to terms with whether that deal is going to be profitable or not when you're done with it. And we only want to lend money out on profitable deals for you, not just for us. So that's what differentiates us from others. But thank you so much for having us.
We're very happy to have you guys. You have been sponsors for, man, I'm going to say over 10 years, maybe over 10 years now. And we have personally used you guys. We use your money. Thank you for that money, Sam. And we are really happy to have you as sponsors. Tom is going to include the sponsor information in the chat. We're going to have Clear Sky's phone number, website, everything that you need to know. So we're going to put it on the chat. It's also on the newsletter. It's also on our website. So you always be able to find Clear Sky. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay. So that's Clear Sky. And next we have Claude. Claude, would you like to say hi? And then you tell us about who you are and why you are a sponsor.
Hi, so Claude Labby. I'm a sponsor because lots of my clients are people who are investors in one way or another. And I was on one of the breakout rooms. Someone said, well, how does that work? And I said, well, someone always is trying to figure out what's the value of the home right now. What's the value of the home when it's renovated? Do you have any bars for my flip? Like, so there are always connections to be made and numbers to be validated. And so that's kind of why I've been playing with you guys for a long, long time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Claude. And he'll be back in a few minutes to give the market update. I got an email this morning. Somebody's asking me, hey, what's this market update about? And I said, we do it every month, either in person or online. Claude is really good at keeping up on what's really going on in our local and nationwide. So thank you, Claude, for being with us. And again, his contact information is on our newsletter, it's on our website, and Tom is putting his information right now in there. Next, we have Specialized Trust Company. They are the self-directed IRA custodian. This is that we have personally used for years, and they're also our sponsor. Many of our Traction members and students work with them. They really know what they're doing. They really help you through every single real estate transaction, answer questions. So we're really happy to have them as sponsors. Again, their information will be on the chat. It's on the newsletter. It's on our website. And then a brand new sponsor who we have here today is DealMachine. We're going to be covering that later on. So I won't talk too much, but know that they're now our sponsor. And this is the link to give you all the details, all the information, and then Matt will be here shortly to tell you more. Now, another big sponsor, and I actually should say a partner, is Home Depot. Because we are the National REIA chapter for DC and for Florida area, we are able to offer you the following benefits. First one is 20% of liquid paint. I say liquid paint because it's 20% on the actual paint, it's not on the brush, but it doesn't matter if you buy 1 gallon, 10 gallons, doesn't matter if you have Behr, PPG, if it's a primer, it doesn't matter what you buy, you will always get 20% of paint. Every time you shop online, you go to the store and scan, always make sure you put your phone number and it should automatically say 20% off. We also have a great program on cabinets, and the most popular one is the cashback rebate. Whatever you spend from January to June, you are gonna get 2% cash back, right back to you. And then July from December, 2% cash back, okay? Just keep that in mind, 2%, that's money back to you. How to do it, how to set it up, we have tons of instructions in English, because if you don't understand my Colombian accent, then don't worry, it's not all printed in English. And then in general, you're gonna get better discounts because you're part of this amazing family that spends almost 50-something million a year. Just us, just the Traction family. We spend that amount of money in Home Depot. That's why they love us and we love them. So every time you go, always go to the pro desk, tell them who you are, give them your phone number, and then they can see that you're part of the Traction family, okay? This is Dominic. I love this photo. He was, I don't know, 1 or 2, I don't even remember that. So a long time ago, but don't worry, he was never heard during this photo. He's here to ask you, have you registered for your rebate? Even if you're a member of Traction, Traction REIA DC, Florida, or Traction in general, you need to be registered for this rebate. Just a few steps that you can do online. I just want to make sure that you're properly registered. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, our website has instructions. If you go into the members area, you can email me directly. I'd be happy to check you. If you have not received your rebate, we're March. So whatever you did, July 1st to December 31st, 2022, you should have received your rebate by now. If you didn't, number 1, are you a Traction REIA member? Are your dues up to date? Number 2, did you register all your cards? And number 3, what is number 3? I always forget. Anyway, if you haven't gotten your check, it is a physical check or a gift card, please email me. Tom is going to put my email, Carolina@tractionrea.com, and we'll take care of that and figure out what happened. This, when I say gold, 2%, 20% of paint, you should be seeing this in your Pro Extra. This is how the Pro Extra profile looks. It should say gold. If it doesn't, again, email me, reach out to me. It should say gold if you're a Traction REIA Association member. These are more benefits that we have for you once you become a member. In general, Office Depot and Office Max, they just give a better deals to us. We have a special card, FedEx, discounts on Express Ground. And this is our member dashboard. This is where every single thing that I've said is in there. We also have recommendations for attorneys, accountants. We have some trainings in there for you. We have tons of resources there for you. Every single instruction of every single benefit, including Home Depot, is there. So this is the easiest way for you to find out everything about your membership. You also get a card. It's literally a rewards card. Every time you attend an event in Florida, DC, online, you're going to get a stamp. So at the end of the meeting today, I will say, I'm giving you a virtual stamp, and you're going to put there March 23rd, 2023, and that will count towards this 10 meetings goal. And then once you reach 10 meetings, I give you 3 months of free membership, or differentiate to a Saturday class, or $50 gift card with Home Depot. So keep track of your meetings attendance. So by now, it's very simple. It's a yes or no. You know who we are. You know what we do. You know what our goal is. If our Traction REIA membership is the answer for you, go ahead. Go to tractionrea.com, click on join. We have 1 person. 2 is usually for 2 people in the same household. 3 is if you have a small business and you want 3 people from your company. That is the membership. If you join online, it's 196 for 1 person, 248 for couples, and 348. That is the Traction REIA Association membership. Next month, I want you to mark your calendars. These dates are also available on the newsletter that Tom included the link that I sent you the link before. We are going to have Alan Cowgill for our entire month. There will be no excuse for you to miss this amazing man. In DC, he's going to be April 20th on Saturday class on the 22nd. He's coming to do a Sarasota luncheon. And if you do not live in any of these 2 regions, we're going to do one online. What I want you to understand is this person is going to show you the right way to raise private money, which you should be part of your toolbox. Clear sky, they're hard money lenders. You need to have them on your toolbox, but there will be deals that you need that type of money. There are other deals that you will need private money. So we want you to understand the difference. We want you to understand why it's important to know about this and how you can make it work for your business. So Alan will be here with us next month. My clicker doesn't want to, there you go. Next, am I done? Oh, the last joke is I was doing the newsletter and I didn't remove the networking with food because I was copying the newsletter from January in DC where we do have actual food. So all of you, thank you so much for noticing that. I love it when you guys catch my mistakes and tell me. I love you for that because that's what friends are for. But no, today you will not receive food unless I can virtually send you DoorDash or Uber Eats or something. So thank you so much, people. And I will see you later. Oh, if you need anything, just hit me on the chat, send me an email. Ciao. Oh my God, sorry, I gotta get off this course.
I was going to wonder what we're talking about. So show it to you. There we go.
This from the back, right?
This is the seat. You kneel. You kneel and it makes you sit straight as an arrow, and I find it rather comfortable, and I don't lean and slouch, so that's really cool that way. All right, let's see. I've got an idea for Carolina. There you go. You've got a virtual meal. There we go. Look at that. Sumptuous food from the as the case may be. All right, we are in good shape. Next up, we're doing the market update. So Claude Levy, I'll run it on my end. I think it'll work out well. And let me add you in. There you go. Claude, go ahead and unmute. Let's just make sure your audio is good to go.
Yeah, I have to close the chat so I can make sure I can see you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Zoom's added more and more features. There's more and more buttons. It's always strange. Not as human as it used to be. Let me get the right presentation on the screen. And whenever you need it advanced, just let me know. So gang, the main reason we do the market update each and every month at Traction is because one of the ways I keep my finger on the pulse of the market is by dealing with people whose job it is to keep their finger on the pulse of the market and really kind of at ground level figuring things out. And that's Claude Labby for me. And we used to have lunch on a regular basis and I'd update on the market. And then quite a number of, probably 10, 11 years ago, I said, Claude, I would like to take this, the conversation we have and get it to a wider audience because everybody needs to have this conversation. And thus, these market updates were born. And Claude has been an absolute soldier, making sure that we do it each and every month for over a decade now. So you are going to benefit from this as we go. So Claude, go ahead and take it away. This is nationwide focused. And just let me know when you want the slide advanced.
Yes, so usually they're just DC focused, or DMV focused, but this week, because of that, let's just change it up. So I was trying to figure out, and naturally this comes up as part of my work. People are looking to buy, they're trying to figure out like, where should I buy? Because a lot of my clients are investors, right? And you can buy the investments in the US. And so I came across this article that I thought was interesting, especially because a number of the people here are Florida based. And I know a lot of us are DMV based, so you'll see interesting stats come through. But anyhow, there was a school, I believe it's Florida Atlantic University, that dives deep into real estate, the way we have here in DC at George Mason, they do down in Florida. So Tom Ding, And we're going to spend a few minutes on this slide because this talks about the data we're going to be looking at, how they derived it. And what they do is they look at Zillow data. And if you've heard me speak before, you know my thoughts on Zillow and how Zillow is far off, but these guys are pretty smart. If you look at the last paragraph on this slide, they're only looking at the middle part. So they're looking at, of all the Zillow values, they compare the Zillow value to the value of the house that was sold that month. And they look at only the ones that are very, very close. So if you're the bottom third or the top third, they just completely remove that. So they use the middle third of the Zillow homes index to the actual home price that was sold, the Zillow price and the price sold. And that's what they use as sort of their line to say, this is what things are actually really worth. And then they project that forward and you get a sense for where are things really looking at. And what they're saying is that right now in this market, if we look at the prices in a particular town, how close is that to the line? So let's go, and they've been doing this since the late 90s. So Tom, next slide, I think will give us a better sense of what we're looking at. Oh, okay, no, so that's the data we'll be looking at. This school started panicking because last fall, if any of you were around me anyway, we were all panicking, right? And what happened was that in the last November, they were saying of the top 100 markets in the US, 39 of them had prices that were dropping. And we're looking at markets like San Jose, San Francisco, prices were dropping like, 5%, which is kind of scary. If you're a wholesaler or a flipper, you can't predict the future when this is what you're seeing. If you're a homeowner, unless you bought a year or two ago, you might be able to stomach that. But this is kind of real uncharted territory in our industry. Next slide, Tom. And in November, this is November, not this month. We'll be looking at this month in a couple of slides, but in November, they were showing how Cape Coral people were paying 68% more. What that meant is that if the home should have been priced at about 100,000, you're actually paying 168,000. And maybe you like the house, but that tells you that market's way out of control. And also there were 4 other markets in Florida that were paying more than 50% above what they should be paying. So last November, even though even though close to half the country was on a downfall, 39 out of 100 was dropping down, 4 markets in Florida were more than 50% above what they should be. But of course, if you're trying to buy in Florida, well, I would argue that November, December is probably a time when everyone's buying. That is going to be the top of their market too. Next slide, John. And so now this is current data, not November, but this is this month's data. Looking at the top, the top tier of the most overpriced markets. So you see that Atlanta is number 1, Florida number 2, North Carolina number 3, Memphis, and then a couple of Floridas. And so you see it seems everything in the top 20 is south. And I just know Vegas is south, but there's Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is kind of the outlier. Everything else is kind of south. And so if you're trying to figure out where do I want to go to, as an investor who wants to get quick price appreciation, where do I want to go? Well, you're probably not going to go to Massachusetts or New York, right? So next slide, Tom. And because the story was focused on Florida, we want to make sure we look at where Florida markets were. So in one of the breakout sessions, someone was asking me about her place in Florida, which I didn't remember off the top of my head. But if you're in Florida right now, there is a premium to be paid if you want to buy property. So just so you want to know that. Next slide, Tom. Now, in hindsight, I should put the slides further up so we could actually explain better what we're looking at. This purple line is what Zillow tells you should be paying. That's where things really, really are. But it turns out that the blue line is what's really happened. So in Atlanta, in 2008-9, when the market was imploding, Atlanta took a real dive. And I would say a number of the country did too. But in the last 2-3 years, Atlanta has really gone up and sort of taking off. Next slide, Tom. Sorry about that. Unexpected distraction. So let's look at one of the Florida markets, Cape Coral. See, Cape Coral from 2015 to 2020 was behaving just as expected, just comfortable. You're not making crazy investment decisions. You're not making crazy buying decisions. But in the last 2+ years, Cape Coral has gone off the charts. All of a sudden, you're paying a good 150,000 more than you should be based on what would be expected. Next slide, John. And then the number 3 market, which is Charlotte, North Carolina, and Charlotte also. And you can argue that some of these are as a result of COVID and our work habits and corporate America changing. And Charlotte is just going on crazy with good business decisions anyhow. So Charlotte's really going much better than expected. But just be aware of that. If you're trying to get into the North Carolina market, know that it's had a wild run up recently. So sometimes things that go up need to come down. Next slide, Tom. If we look at the top 20, then by rights, we should look at the bottom 20. I will particularly bring your attention to number 99. So the most reasonable market is Washington, D.C. Can you believe that? Washington, D.C. is exactly where it should be. Baltimore is next. But some of these other markets that we typically think of as having dropped and underperforming, when that's specifically California markets, right? Look at those. They're all in the bottom 20. Had I not looked at this data, I never would have thought DC would be that far down the bottom. Next slide, John. So let's look at those bottom performing markets, right? Baltimore, you can see 2 or 3 months ago, Baltimore was above performance. Now they've got back down. Next slide. And here, Washington, D.C. And you heard me speak a couple months ago about how painful I felt in the last 3 or 4 months. Well, look at what's happened in DC in the last 3 or 4 months, and you could argue that in late 2022, we were overperforming. But look at that. In the last 2 or 3 months, we have corrected that overperformance. And we're now back at what we should be. But I got to tell you, in DC, it has been painful to tell sellers, no, you need to drop your price now. And you can just watch the buyers. Buyers are just saying, no, I'm not going to pay that. Take this offer or I'm going to go buy something else. And that's what it feels like. But this does say that in terms of what you would expect over the long term, DC right now is exactly where it should be. Next slide, Tom. And one more slide. I went through a lot of data. And if you want me to talk to your market, then reach out to me there. You can use that website to find the info yourself. And I'll sort of walk you through, because I spoke a lot in about 5 minutes. And if that didn't make sense to you and you want me to hold your hand through it, I'll be more than happy to do that too. Thanks, Tom.
Perfect. Thanks, Claude. Fantastic. So I will tell you, it's always fascinating to watch the changes in things. If you think about what's looped from one year to the next, the ups and the downs, I find it interesting. A lot of people want to play the market. They want to play, that's an element to it. If you want to buy something and have it appreciate, fine. There's also times though, where if you learn to make your money now or make it on the buy, you're fine. The changes don't usually rapidly affect you as much. You got to decide what kind of investor you are like that, because that makes a big difference. Claude, I'm going to have you unmute one more time. What else have you been hearing? Is there would you call that panic when things change? Are you sensing panic in people, or is that more on the seller side, or is that more on the investor side, or what are you hearing out there?
It's not panic yet, but it's certainly pause. No need to do anything right now. Let's just wait. We can do things later this year, or we can just not do anything yet. Not panic yet.
Okay.
It's only going to be stress. It's only going to be stress if you are forced. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing here this week, so it's only going to be stress if you're forced to do something. And there are people who are forced to buy or sell through different life and work situations. They're not comfortable with it, but you can argue all you want with the market. You're not gonna change the market. That's what it is.
Gotcha. Now, Claude, I was asking, do you know what percentage premium percentage Northern Virginia is that?
Oh, it's not much more. It's not, I would argue, I should probably look at data, but I would argue in the last 3 or 4 years, Northern Virginia is not holding its edge. If you've been listening to me for the last 15 years, right? Have always been very, very pro Northern Virginia. And in the last 3 or 4 years, Northern Virginia has lost its edge. It's almost like Amazon came in and we all thought that was going to be great. And that has not performed. And all of a sudden, Maryland has figured out that there's money to be had. There are people and businesses who are looking to relocate to the DMV area. And it's just as easy to fly to BWI as it is to fly to Dallas. And all of a sudden, Maryland is handing out a lot more incentives to homeowners and to businesses. And they're catching up to Nova. So Nova is not, I would still say Nova is probably, like, if I looked at those numbers and had to say Nova is doing better than DC, but Nova is not Florida numbers at all. Not at all.
Gotcha. What about foreclosures or pre-foreclosures increasing in the near future?
Haven't seen that noticeably, though I suspect there are people in this room who focus on that more than I do, who can probably speak to the trends better. But don't forget, by the time it gets to the realtors, it's gone through the banks and stuff, right? I'm not representing myself, but I know of 2 or 3 sellers right now who are in foreclosure process. So they're selling their homes. And I wouldn't have been able to say that for a good 10, 12 years, right? So, but that's happening right now.
Cool.
Awesome. I don't think that's the market, but maybe ask Sam. He may have a better sense for that.
Tell you, Sam, you want to jump in there?
Yes, sure. We do spend a lot of time focused on understanding how many foreclosures there are in the space. We track it all the time. And then we're, of course, talking to our clients as they bring us pre-foreclosure properties and other distressed assets to look at. Most recently, I would say that there is a very low volume and it's a steady state of low volume. And this question has been asked by many of our customers and many people who we interact with generally. So we are watching it closely. The people who have the mortgages now that have low interest rates were highly qualified when they got them. They're locked into low rates. They appreciate that. They're making steady payments. There are days, there are 2 or 3 days go by, not a single auction will come on the block in Northern Virginia, and just a few in the district. So we are not seeing any kind of spike. I don't think there's some sort of wave of them coming. So that's my view. And I think Charlie would have a consensus, same view.
Awesome. Thank you both. Appreciate it. Let's see. Carolyn, deals came in. Juan Sa. Can you please unmute yourself and say hello? We're going to know you submitted a deal for deal makers. This is a members only section. You're able to tell Carolina you wanted to present a deal. So Juan, if you are there, go ahead and unmute and say hello. If you're not there, so I've got this slew. I mean, I've got 109 people on, so it's a lot of little windows to look at to try to find a name. When you speak up, it jumps up. All right, cool. Well, Juan, that's all right. Let's see. Then I want to get Matt Kamp on, if that's the case. So, Matt, if you could unmute and say hello. I know Matt is probably joining us right about now as it is. So cool. Let me go through, see if there's any questions in the chat I can ask as well.
They were asking for dates for next week, so and then the traction challenge.
Dates on the traction challenge. I'm going to leave all of that to Matt. Matt's going to go through that in its entirety, how it works. We do 3 online events coming up during the week that will be there. I know, so we want to get you moving and give you kind of like signposts along the way that you can work towards on those and learn as you go. Would be great.
But the rest of the day, you don't count of DealMachine for right now.
You will, yeah, absolutely. And Matt's going to give you it's tractionchallenge.com. You can go there and get signed up. That'll put you in the challenge for the week. It'll give you 7 days free on DealMachine, so you can do the challenge along with us. All that's coming up. I don't want to steal and too much of his thunder. Anyway, we see there's a question in here about Do I think impending regional bank crisis will have any impact on foreclosures? Sometimes I worry about the regional bank crisis in general. At what point does it seem like we're trying to get it down to just having a few banks nationwide? Too much central control. I'm not a big giant fan of. A little hard to say exactly what I think, how it's going to, how that's going to shake out. Here's what I know with all of it, right? You never know. Things go up, they go down, they go sideways, they go crazy, banks implode. I focus on my own skills. Marketing, negotiation, contracts control, getting paid, understanding how to make money in real estate investing, because it's one of the basic things that people need. You remember what they teach my kids this in elementary school: food, clothing, and shelter. I'm not worried about food and clothing. It's shelter that I like because that's real estate and I like that. So no matter what happens, human beings need shelter. We need a place to live. I'm quite happy to own or control or flip or manage those types of deals. That's what I'm after, no matter what happens in the news, no matter what happens in the news that they don't tell us, whether it's right or wrong, this, that, whether it's a big bank, a small bank, a regional bank, a world bank. I mean, there's a bunch of foreign banks are failing right now too. My only advice through all of this is to double down on yourself, invest in yourself, invest in your talents, specifically focus on transferable skills that are good no matter what. They'll help you in your every other walk of life as well, not just your real estate investing. All right, you said Matt Kamp is on now. Matt, can you unmute and say hello so it'll jump your
hello
to the top? Well, hello.
Yeah. Hey guys.
Hi there. Hang on, you didn't automatically move to the top of the list, Matt. Let's see. I don't know what's going on here. Give me a second and I will find you.
All good.
Let's see if I never know if it's alphabetical by. Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Carolina, can you find him? Give me just a sec. We'll get Matt on it.
That's not my bad.
Thank you. Well, look at that. See, that's why it's awesome to have a great assistant. There he is. Hello, Matt.
Hey guys.
Good to see you.
You too. You too. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to do this.
My pleasure. So, look, I've been talking it up how much I love DealMachine because I used to. I've always loved driving for deals. But one thing that I didn't particularly love about it was coming back with this list, just a list of properties. And then I had to do the research and I had to look everything up and I had to try to find the owners. Then I had to contact a different company for skip tracing, and it was always a pain in the butt. It's worth it, but it was a pain in the butt. Then along you guys came with DealMachine. And I'm going, wait a minute, this is all integrated into an app. I just touch on, literally I hit the property and I can add it to a list and there's all this information. That whole long list of to-dos that I had to do for every property. If you went on a dozen properties, I had 12 different things to do for 12 different properties. It was irritating. Now it's all simplified and I like that. So I'm excited for this challenge because I want to get people clear. I want to get them moving so they can maintain the momentum and make it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. So what I was going to go through tonight, Tom, if this worked for you guys, I do have a presentation I can go through to really show you guys, hey, here are the top 3 ways to build the best list of off-market deals, like the pros, the top 3 ways to be able to go out there. And one of those that you're talking about right now, the driving for dollars approach, that first recommendation is going to be what the challenge is really based on. So if you'd like, I'm happy to kind of go through, give a ton of value, as much value as I possibly can to everybody tonight, go through that to begin with. And then at the end here, really dig into, hey, here's what the challenge is all about. Here's what it's going to look like. And here's what the next 7 days are going to look like, if that works for you.
I think that's fantastic. I think that's exactly what we need. So go ahead.
Good seeing you.
Because I don't want people starting shooting me with questions. Do you want to go through it and then at the end we do a Q&A where I can tell you what people are asking? Is that okay?
Yeah, that works great. Yeah, I'm happy to go through it and then Q&A.
If people start putting things on the chat, please stop because we're trying to see the presentation and then you're having conversations on the side. So
stay focused on that.
Presentation in the moment, form the moment. Write down in a piece of paper your questions, and then when we're open to Q&A, then we can open microphones.
Go through at the end.
Does that sound like a good plan?
I think it sounds great because a lot of times the question you're thinking of, Matt's going to wind up answering anyway. So it's good.
Perfect. Yeah.
Well, with that being said, all the way from St. Louis, we've got Matt Kamp from DealMachine. Hey, buddy.
Awesome, man. Do you know, it says for share screen, it says host disabled participants.
Oh, hang on a second. I got to make you co-run. I forgot to do.
Okay.
Now you should be good. You have full permission. I'll show you a screen.
Perfect. Let me see if I can do this now. You guys see that, hopefully?
Sure do.
All right, there we go. So,
Good one.
perfect. Thanks, Tom. I know I came on, it was sometime late last year, did one of these with you guys. Absolutely love the group. In general, I mean, I'm Matt Kamp over here with DealMachine. We really focus on trying to educate audiences like yourself, where we know you guys are out there ready to take action and ready to get out there, not just sit back and learn from, presentation like tonight, but to really act on it. And, that's who we can actually help in the end. Like, DealMachine, just a little bit about us to begin with. We're a tool to help investors find off market deals. And our mission is to give everyone the power of real estate investing using technology. But in the end, we're a tool. We're a shovel that you can dig with, but it still takes that effort. It still takes you getting out there, taking action on that, taking action on the knowledge that I shared tonight, and on the technology we can provide you as well. So I know we're really proud to say we're the highest rated and most reviewed app out there for investors to find off market deals. I really, we lead with that. We really lean on our customers to do the talking for us to begin with. But, what I talk about tonight is taken from people who've done over 10,000 deals using the DealMachine app in every single state. We have hundreds of interviews of people breaking down exactly how they're using technology to land deals. And what I talk about tonight will be, hey, here are the top 3 ways to go do this yourself. And then in addition to that, I will also talk about the challenge, in which I know, Tom, you shared that link in the chat as I was jumping in here. That's awesome. Like, before you forget, go register there. It's just tractionchallenge.com. Make sure to get involved. We're going to be kicking off tomorrow. So really, really excited to talk about that and announce that for you guys tonight. But wanted to start off and lead off with giving us as much value as possible here. Really share, again, the top 3 ways that investors are finding these deals. And, the exciting thing now is that right now, and like I said, we're going to be talking about the challenge too. Right now, you have such an opportunity. Like, you hear the word thrown out there, recession, over and over and over again. Are we going through one? Are we about to hit one? Like, it's just a very uncertain time in the market. And it has been, especially the last 12 months. And any time of slowdown, any time of downturn, that is such an opportunity to get involved in this space, because there are more people that have financial problems that you can then solve. And that's our job as a real estate investor, as a wholesaler, is to solve other people's problems. We are more valuable in a time like this, where we can come in and we can offer things like speed, help them sell fast, convenience, hey, sell as is, cash, hey, we can sell, we can provide cash right now for them. There are a lot of tools at your disposal as a wholesaler or as an investor that right now, when there are people who have more issues, that you can go out and find and help and solve, and be very genuine about caring about them as a person and helping them solve their situation with these tools. Now is such a great time to get into this. So I love that you're here, you're investing in yourself, you're taking action on not just absorbing this knowledge tonight, but really taking that next step tonight. I know, like I mentioned, right now is the time to step up and take action. And I know that where most people get stuck, where do most would-be investors or would-be wholesalers get stuck, is they just don't know how to find a great deal, and, or where to go. Like, what are the steps to actually get out there and go find a truly motivated seller? So that's what tonight I'm going to be really focused on giving you is, hey, there are 3 ways that we've identified that, again, we've seen people do 10,000 plus deals using these 3 methods. And it's how to build an extremely motivated list of sellers. And I'll break that down, each of those 3 ways tonight, give you really specific action steps on how to create that list, how to go out there and do this. And then again, we're going to be wrapping up with the challenge, previewing that challenge, jumping right into to what that's going to look like tomorrow and the next 7 days. So I know, again, these methods of how people are finding these deals, it's from all those people I talked about. It's from specific stories like this, like David Lecko, our CEO and founder, who he grew up in St. Louis with me out here. I've known him for a long, long time. He moved to Indianapolis, was in the middle of a career transition, and was really kind of looking for that next thing. And he was not loving what he was doing during the day, but he knew that he had read Rich Dad Poor Dad. He had read all the real estate books that you guys might be familiar with too. See Tom smiling there. Yeah, he knew that, hey, real estate is the #1 wealth generating tool ever created. So, hey, I knew that this was something he wanted to get into and figured out like, okay, hey, where can I start? How do I go start finding deals? You know, for himself, he created version 1 of DealMachine just for himself to help solve a lot of the problems that Tom was talking about, the headaches of following up with people, the headaches of trying to write down addresses, of really trying to just save himself as much time as possible and use technology to do that. So David on his end, he created this for himself, tried to solve his own problem using technology, and then realized, man, this is really working. He built his own financial freedom doing this. He acquired, over the course of just a year or two, over now that value, any update, that's about $1.6 million in value of real estate, 5 figures in monthly income. Built his own financial freedom doing this, and realized, hey, this technology I built for myself that I'm scratching my own itch with, I think this is something that other people could benefit from too. I think this is something that, hey, I could make available to other people. And I think more people have that problem of how do I get into real estate? It's how do you find the deal? Usually it's funding and it's the deal and the dollars, the funding behind it. But for this case, especially as wholesaling became more of a prominent exit strategy, David was trying to help people solve that first problem, that most urgent problem of how do you find a deeply discounted, really just awesome deal. And he put this version of DealMachine on the App Store to do that. He created kind of, this is, it looks much different today, but this was kind of the first public version of DealMachine. And again, it's evolved into a company with our mission being giving everyone the power of real estate investing, giving everyone technology to really democratize real estate and make it something that is accessible to everyone, because you can go out and find a great deal. And, for him, that started off as just him solving his own problem. We've built up an entire team around that. Now, again, we're the highest rated, most reviewed app out there for investors to find off-market deals. We've had over 70,000 investors that we've worked with, customers we served. They've done over 10,000 deals in every single state, and 4.8 stars out of 5, with over 5,000 reviews combined between the App Store and the Google Play Store. It's people like this, like Ryan Haywood, that when I talk about tonight, it's taken from people like this, where Ryan, he also did a challenge very similar to what we're launching with Tom here, starting tomorrow. It was a 30-day challenge for him. And on day 17, he had his first deal under contract. That entire first year, that was just an absolute springboard. It was a rocket ship from there for him. He saw the light. He did his first deal. He realized what was possible. It really unlocked for him the possibility of this being a realistic route and realistic thing to achieve. And him and his wife, they did 72 deals in the first year after this wholesaling challenge, and then 400 deals since then. So it's incredible to see people like this run with what I'm talking about for you guys tonight. Cody, he's another one here who he was in Milwaukee, he was in San Diego. He was from Milwaukee originally. He was in San Diego, tried to do wholesaling there, just found it was too competitive for him, just didn't have much luck. And so he switched to virtually driving for dollars using DealMachine back in Milwaukee. And he landed 2 deals in the next month and is doing 3 to 4 deals per month in that market. So it's people like this who are scaling this strategy. And again, I'll teach you tonight exactly what they're doing to build their list of leads. Matthew Weaver, he's another really good example. He's literally across the world. He's from the US, moved to Saudi Arabia, was there in October 2020, learned real estate investing, watching a lot of our YouTube videos actually originally, and then started doing deals by virtually driving for dollars back in the US. So people are literally doing this from all over the world. And what I talk about tonight, it's from people like Matthew as well. And even people like Patrick here, which just had such an inspiring story, where he was someone who he was sleeping in his truck, trying to figure out how to change his life situation. And from a YouTube video and a friend who referred him to DealMachine, in his first 10 months, he did 14 deals and over 150K in wholesale fees. And it was truly a life changer for him. So people like Patrick, people like Matthew, Cody, Ryan, all of these people, that's what I'm going to be talking about tonight, is giving you those tips from the pros, from the people doing this actively, and really breaking down, hey, here are 3 specific strategies that you can be using to build an incredibly valuable list of leads. And then again, we'll end with a challenge. We'll show you like, hey, here's what's coming up. Here's what we're going to be giving you guys for free over the next 7 days to really activate this knowledge, to really help you act on this knowledge and take the next step to go land that first deal and many after that. So excited to do this. Tom, is there anything else you want me to dig into there? Or does that sound good?
I think that sounds fantastic, Matt. Go for it.
Perfect. Awesome. So strategy number one, what I've got here, and I'll talk through some of this stuff, and then I'll also show it off inside DealMachine too, to get really nitty gritty on the specifics of how to do this yourself. But strategy number one, as Tom alluded to, it's driving for dollars or virtually driving for dollars. And, you know, if you've heard that term before, you know, the idea being, hey, get in your car, physically drive around, you know, look for fixer upper properties, you know, physically distressed properties that have, you know, the tarp on the roof, or the gutters falling off, or the boarded up windows, the you know, siding having issues, or it could be a little less subtle, you know, or a little more subtle, I guess. It could be, you know, things like a window AC unit, or things that just show, hey, the appearance of this house is, you know, needs some updating. You know, we see people, I've used this example before, but we have one of our first hires, he landed a deal using DealMachine, one of our own employees, where he was out driving around. It was this time of year, and somebody had Halloween decorations up. And he's like, hey, you know what? They're just not keeping up with the physical appearance of the property. They're not keeping up with the look of the property. You know, could be worth an ad. And he added that lead, reached out to him, and ended up doing that deal. So things like that, just indicators that show you that for whatever reason, the owner of that property isn't wanting to keep up with it. You know, maybe it's a vacant property, what have you, or just is not able to keep up with it right now. And that is, again, the number one indicator of a motivated seller. It's the most motivated leads are found in that way. It also, you're at a great advantage by taking, you know, this method of driving around and looking for fixer uppers, because you also are going to find the leads that don't show up easily on another list. You know, leads that don't show up easily, where if you just pull a very general, broad list of, you know, high equity homes or absentee, or, you know, you get a water shutoff list, or you get a, you know, what have you. I mean, there are a million different sources there. Those lists are very easy to access, right? And only take a few minutes to be able to use, or be able to get a hold of. Whereas driving for dollars, you're out there, you are earning that list. You know, that is something that you yourself have built on your own. No one else has it. It's unique to yourself, and you're finding properties that aren't necessarily going to show up under those other filters, under those other methods of building a list. So I will mention, like, going through, that's why driving for dollars is so valuable. It's also, you know, a common question I also hear under that is like, how many leads does it take to get to a deal? You know, how many leads does it take, driving for dollars leads does it take to get to that first deal? What I can tell you, there's kind of two magic numbers that I try to share there. One of them would be the number 100, and 100 is, you know, doesn't necessarily mean that, hey, in your first 100 leads, you're going to get a deal from that, which we do have plenty of people that do. Like, we do have, you know, I'll use the example. There's a guy, Quentin, down in San Antonio. He was on our YouTube channel, and we followed him around, filming him using DealMachine. The fourth person he called, he did a deal. That was pretty awesome. It was live on camera. Like, we have that all out there. So you can get lucky. You can get right place, right time, and make deals happen that way. But the more sustainable, scalable number would be just beyond the 100, which I can get to in a second. The 100 is really the magic number that we see where there's a tipping point. And if you add 100 leads to your list, 100 qualified driving for dollars leads, where you have actually driven around and looked for these rundown properties yourself and make that, you know, an actual full list that way. Those 100 leads, you know, if we look at the data, you are you're extremely likely to stick with this. Like, you're highly likely to be able to stick with this strategy, build the right processes, build the right habits, get going, where we know that long term, you are kind of like going to the gym or eating healthy. Like, you're building the right things, you're doing the right things, and putting that in place to set yourself up for success, and to stick with this, and to see some, you know, the excitement of more and more people coming through, and see the excitement of, like, hey, yeah, I'm starting to have real conversations. I'm starting to talk to people. I'm starting to really see the light at the end of the tunnel, and possibly do that first deal, but at least hit that first milestone that we know you're likely to stick with this strategy. So when it comes to goal setting, we usually talk about the number 100 is a great place to start, and to set your goals of, okay, go out there and add your first 100 leads, your first 100 driving for dollars leads, because you're highly likely to be successful with this strategy long term if you do that. You know, if you want to scale this strategy and want to know, like, hey, yeah, how many leads does it take to get to that first deal on average, and then over time, like how many leads am I need to add to keep going and do even up to multiple deals a month, like a lot of these people that I'm showing you. The magic number there is 300. So on, typically it's about 300 leads to one deal. If you look at the broad US, paint that with a broad stroke that way. I will mention, if you're in a more competitive market, if you're in a San Diego, a Phoenix, a Seattle, something like that, it's going to be a couple times that typically. So maybe 2 or 3 times that. If you're in a rural market that's more spread out, but less competitive, it's going to be less than that. So maybe half of that or 2/3 of that. So just know in general, that's what the numbers shake out to. But if you can aim for that first 100 leads to build momentum and then first 300 leads to get to that first deal, you're in a really, really good place. So wanted to break that down for you guys. I can show inside DealMachine here exactly how to build this list of leads. So with strategy number 1, I can show this in action, both, again, the physical driving for dollars and the virtual version. So I'll go through that here with you guys for just a few minutes. Tom, can you see the app here, hopefully? Try to switch over to it.
Yeah, I see the app. I see the streets and houses.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So just to show this off for you guys, this is what the desktop version looks like. Obviously, there's a mobile version as well, where you have the mobile app that locks onto your location and helps you, drive around and be able to follow you around and uses your GPS to be able to track where you're at. So when you look at the map here to start off with, you just see all these black dots popping up around you. And each black dot represents, an actual house, right? In real life. If you go to satellite view, you can see those houses in real time too. So you can see kind of like, here's what it would look like if you're driving around the neighborhood, right? But going to the standard view here, and let me zoom back in for you guys. Going here, as you drive down the street, you'll have your little dot pop up like you would on GPS, and drive down Connecticut Street right here, right? And as I'm going, it's going to follow me down the street. And as I look at houses, I can click on a house, look at that. If it's physically distressed in real life, I quickly just hit add lead and move on to the next one. And as I do that, you're going to see these pins pop up, these blue pins. That means that they've been added to my list of leads. So as I keep clicking on them, I'll keep adding to the list of leads and keep moving on. We want to keep you going at a good pace, because in the end, it is a numbers game. It is about finding the right number, or just just filling up your pipeline consistently with as many of these physically distressed houses as possible. So we want to make it just really simple, really easy for you to kind of track where you're going and just keep adding leads and adding leads and adding leads. So again, you just remember the black dots around you are all properties. The blue pins mean that they're added, to your list. You'll see these blue dots every so often, and that means it's a house that's been on the MLS within the last year. So if I click into this, I can see, hey, it's sold, May 2022. It was on market 58 days. Here's the listing agent information. Here's mortgage information. So you can see quite a bit of data here for each lead, and even each house that I look at in general. Whenever I click on them, you can look and see things like, hey, is this an absentee owned property? Is it an assumable mortgage? Is it, what was the last sale date, the last sale price? Again, mortgage data, MLS data, all kinds of stuff to dig into that you can use to help further qualify that lead. But just remember, first and foremost, what you're looking for is that physical distress. Like that is the number one indicator of a motivated seller. Like that's where you want to start. So use that data as you can, add leads that that'll in that way, but start off by looking for physical distress. So, as you drive down the street, it's going to pull with you like this. I will mention, there's a couple ways to use the data that we're talking about here to help kind of figure out where do you start driving, like where, what's a good area of town to begin with to start in. And, this highlights button right here is super powerful to help you determine that. So if you click on the highlights button, it lets you dig into thousands of data points right here that, again, you've got, all kinds of stuff around, tax and mortgage info, MLS data, and that MLS data is for every single state too. Like if you're in, Texas or a non-disclosure state, we've still got it, this is for all 50 states. It's got property information, it's got owner information, lien information, all that type of stuff right here. So what I recommend is, and what we see working really well, is to figure out what's a good neighborhood to begin with. Pick a couple really broad qualifiers to really figure out, okay, here's when entire blocks light up, it's a good place to start. So a couple of ideas of what that would look like. Hey, you can type in property type. So let me see if I can type tonight. Property type. Select single family. Cool. Start there if that's the type of property you're going to be going for. We've got hundreds of different property types like commercial, multifamily, vacant land, all kinds of stuff. But for the sake of this, I'll start with single family. So start there. I'll say year built. So I usually recommend, or what we see work well, is at least 30 years ago. So that way we know, hey, they probably have a little more equity. There's a higher chance of it needing to be fixed up. It's a good general qualifier. And then finally, I'll also go in here and usually put calculated total value and say like, hey, let's make it greater than, 100K. So that way we know if we're not just finding houses that are, only worth 50K once they're all fixed up, like you got to have a little bit of meat on the bone there if you're going to wholesale the property. So cool, do all that, apply filters, and we'll see entire neighborhoods, entire blocks start to light up. And that's going to show me awesome in real time right now. I know that this entire block is a great place to start. It's a really good place to begin driving for dollars, to begin looking for these deals, because this entire area fits my general filters right here. So it's really cool to see it, especially in real time as you drive around. Like you can get really specific on highlights and say like, hey, yeah, show me. Well, let me clear this one. You can go in and say, hey, show me all of the properties that are vacant around me, or all the potential cash buyers around me, or, foreclosure statuses, or, senior owner or hot neighborhoods or things like that. But, being able to do that, like, in real time and drive around and see these highlights to help kind of guide you through this, that is one awesome way to help kind of further distill down the leads that you're adding. So, that would be one big pro tip for you guys. I'll mention as you drive around, and I don't know if I have any on the map right here right now, but as you drive around, you'll see this route tracking show up. I'll have to search for it here a little bit for you guys, but you'll see route tracking show up for you, where it looks like, which I can show you here, it looks like a green little tail following you while you drive around. It's, for the first 6 months, it's green. After 6 months, it turns yellow. And after 12 months, it turns red. And that's to show you can look at the map and figure out, hey, where have I driven recently? And where should I be driving next? And how do I blanket entire areas and never double back on my routes and always drive as efficiently as possible? I can just, look at the map and see, where are all those lines all over the map for me. So your route tracking, make sure to use that to your advantage as well. I know whenever you go in and say you're tracking your routes, you're using highlights, you're starting to add leads. Whenever you do actually add leads, there's a couple of best practices there too. I'd highly recommend, when you click add lead, it'll show up in the mobile app right in your face. It'll be real easy to see, but you'll see these tags pop up, this tagging feature. And whenever you tag a property, you can create custom tags. You can adjust what the tags say, but I highly recommend adding a level of distress, and then if it's high priority or not. So that way, whenever you actually figure out, or when you actually build this list and then you go in and you say, hey, who should I start calling first, or who should I start reaching out to first? If you have high priority tags, that'll help you distill that down even further and help you figure out like, hey, yeah, I should spend my time there first, because I know that it's a higher priority lead for me. So recommend doing that. And then the other thing is, whenever you actually add a lead, it'll pop up and give you an option to take a picture of that property as well. When you take a picture of that property, that's going to do a couple things for you. First and foremost, like probably the main reason is, if you actually send mail through DealMachine, that picture is going to pop up on the postcard right here, and that's going to roughly double your response rate typically. So that's going to really help you out if you take pictures of properties to really qualify the lead, make sure that it's a distressed property, and then secondly, it's going to pop up on this postcard and give you a better chance to get in touch with that owner. So yeah, I'd say again, you're driving around, you're using highlights, route tracking, you're adding leads, make sure you're tagging them, make sure you're taking pictures of them, you're doing all the right stuff there. Last thing I will say, because I mentioned, virtual driving for dollars is an option too, right? This virtual driving, this is something that, again, I was talking about people who have been doing it all over the world, or, maybe you're in a different market that you want to invest in, a market that you're not physically located in, or, maybe you have a day job and it's really tough to get out during the day to drive. Maybe you want to do this, at night, or, you just want to multitask. Like you could be watching basketball and, March Madness and, be able to have this on your phone and just virtually drive for dollars while, doing deals while you're doing whatever else, anytime, anywhere. This virtual driving for dollars has been a game changer for people to do that. So when you click start driving up in this top right corner up here, start driving, you can select anywhere on the map, hit start driving, and it's going to import Google Street View right into DealMachine. And just like you would in real life, you want to look for those rundown houses, go down the street, look for a house that's not in good shape. You see there's a lot of stuff going on right here. This is probably a pretty good lead right here. It's absentee owned and everything. You hit add lead. It's going to pin that property just in the bottom left corner right here too. You can see the map, pin that property. You can tag it right there too, just like I mentioned before, and, look at even more data about that owner and then move on to the next one. So, just like you would in real life, you're going to click for dollars essentially as you're driving around here. But this virtual driving for dollars option has been really, really awesome for people too, as an alternative to physically driving around. And we even see people do this with like virtual assistants and stuff like that. Like they'll train somebody to do this for them. So there's a lot of smart options you can use with this. And with I know it's only the first strategy out of 3 that I'm talking about. With each of these strategies, there'll be some more advanced stuff going on here too. So if you want to keep it simple and straightforward, this driving for dollars and virtual D for D, like this is what our challenge is going to be about primarily. Like this is what we're going to be digging into. This is what we're going to be setting goals on, be doing homework on, be doing giveaways on, is really focused on getting you out there and finding the best bang for your buck, the best leads out there, which is driving for dollars leads. So, Tom, did I miss anything there? Did you have anything you wanted to add on the driving for dollars stuff?
No, I don't think you missed anything. I missed something before. I never knew you can highlight things on the criteria and target where you're going. I lit up at that. My son's sitting over here. He went, "That's great, Dad." I said, "Yeah, that's totally awesome."
The highlights are great.
It was ridiculous watching you put in a few awesome criteria, and now I know exactly where to go.
Love it. And then here's the route tracking that I was talking about too. So like I just drove this virtual, quote unquote, drove this virtual route. So you can look at that and figure out where to go next.
It's beautiful. Love it.
Perfect. So that's method 1 right there. I see there's a couple questions in the chat. I'll make sure to hit those by the end for sure for you guys. Strategy, let's see here. If I can, here we go. Again, like I mentioned, that challenge that we're going to be starting tomorrow, that is going to be focused on that strategy. So what I showed you tonight, we're going to do a super deep dive tomorrow and, for the next 7 days on all this stuff and give you guys the exact action steps you need to go find that first deal and go land that first deal and many deals after it. So that's the focus tomorrow. Strategy number 2. So this is something that I would say where it's less known within DealMachine, but it's something that is incredibly powerful that is really helping people who maybe have less time. If you can't get out there and you can't drive around and you figure out like, hey, I just can't invest the time I need to actually go out and find those leads or even virtually find those leads. This, list building is another way to very, very quickly get an extremely high quality list of leads. It's just that it's going to take more marketing budget. Like you're roughly going to need a budget 3 to 4 times as much in terms of skip tracing, in terms of sending postcards, in terms of getting in front of people this way, because it is an easier list to access. Other people, it's easier to be able to go in and pull a list of leads. It'll only take you a few minutes to do that, which I'll show you here in just a second. But you can do this in a quick and easy way, which is such an advantage for people that don't have the time to reach out to people. But just wanted to make sure you're setting the right expectations. It's going to take more marketing budget because it's a more accessible list of leads, right? Some of the key motivators that we talk about to really distill down that list of leads is property type. That could be single family versus multifamily versus land if you're doing that. There's all kinds of property types I can show you in here. Owner type, so like absentee owned versus vacant versus corporate owned. You've got a lot of different options there. Year built, again, if it's an older house, that means it's going to be more likely to need to be fixed up or it's going to be more likely to be in disrepair or have some higher equity likely. sale date, so you can look and filter it by when it was last sold and make sure that you are targeting properties that have been owned for a little bit longer. Equity, you can look for higher equity homes, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure statuses, things like that. These are some of the key motivators that we see people try to stack, and that's what the goal here is to stack motivations, where if you put in multiple factors like this and go to a certain part of town, put in multiple factors like this, the more motivations that line up, that overlap with each other, the further down you're whittling that list of leads, and the higher quality that lead is going to be, right? Because it checks off more boxes of, hey, it's maybe it's an absentee owned property. It's got high equity. It hasn't been sold in a while. It was built a while ago. It's a single family home. These are all things that are going to add up on each other and really help you, whittle down that list further and further and further, and really hone in on those couple of leads that you can really spend most of your time and most of your marketing budget on, so that way you don't have to blanket an entire area around that. So inside DealMachine, this is an add-on here. We were in the Drive tab that for all this stuff right here, for this first strategy. The second strategy right here, this list builder. This is the add-on right here that if you click on that, it'll pop up, and really help you get started with, putting in any area, whether it be a zip code, a city, a county. You can get really, really big and broad with it. I'll just start in St. Louis here, where I'm based. So just picking a random zip code here. And then, once I click on that area, that's when I can start filtering things down. So let me zoom in here for you guys, and you can see all these blue pins popping up. These are all leads inside DealMachine I already have added, inside of the St. Louis market. But as I go through here, I can go and look at, I've got a couple of quick list filters. I've got, I could say, hey, show me the vacant properties around me. Again, all the ones that we went through earlier, in terms of just one quick click and then see that filter quickly. But on this, I'm going to actually create a custom filter. And when I create that, again, a couple of those most common criteria to select and to whittle it down a little bit, I'll start with property type. So let me begin with property type again and click single family, confirm that. Awesome. And you'll see in real time the estimated number of leads whittle down. So you'll see, hey, right away, I've almost got 5,000 single family homes right here in this area of St. Louis. Cool. Let's get even more specific. I want year built to be, let's get even older, we'll say before 1970. Cool. And then we can monitor this. Okay, cool. Most of the houses in the area are before 1970 still. So that's not helping me too much, but it's still whittling down a little bit. All right, cool. Let me look at length of ownership. So sale date by county records is before, and we'll say 15 years ago, to make sure we've got some good equity in this. So what would that be? 2008? What year is it? So here we go, 2008. Confirm. Awesome. Now we're down to 799 leads. Okay, cool. We're getting even more motivated. This is good. We can do things like lot size or equity. Well, let's do equity percentage. So that's a really good one. Equity percent is greater than 40%. Cool. Confirm that. All right, we're getting down even further. So 535 leads. Great. Let's see if there's anything under foreclosure too. This might get us really low. Let's see if we can get real specific. Yeah, we're not looking at that for this one then. Cool, down to 535. Tom, are there any other things in your buy box that you really focus on that I could filter in here, you think, or you think I'm hitting most of them?
I think those are the good ones. There's a lot of things looking around. If you're not getting enough with 1970, I'd push it back even further depending on your area.
Good tip. Yeah.
60, 65, 62, 50 even. Yeah. We'll get a good.
You do 60.
Yeah. Let's see what comes up with.
6 will work for me. There we go. Confirm that. Cool. So we're down to 500 leads. Now, if we're going through that, if we want to get really specific, and especially in a city, really any city, it's gonna be so different block by block, right? It's gonna be you might have very specific areas that you want to invest in and compare. So this start drawing button is fantastic for that. So you click on start drawing in this top right corner. You could say, hey, I want to go down Gravois, go up to here, go up down this major street here, go down to Arsenal. click right there. And now I've honed in on 63 leads. And each of these highlights that you have popping up is exactly, is everything that fits your criteria in real time, right? So, if I've got it down to 63 leads, that's a pretty darn good list. If I know that's an area that I want to really focus on, really want to farm there, awesome, cool. I'll hit build list. And the great thing about this is, well, you'll see it build on the spot, but the great thing about this too is these are all smart lists. So on these smart lists, they update every single day with new data. And I mean, that's across DealMachine every single day. All of our data refreshes, but these smart lists, what they'll do is we're really trying to focus on optimizing your marketing. So like, for example, if you've got, mail, if you've got postcards through DealMachine going to these properties, and one of these properties on this list no longer fits your criteria, like say one of them sells, which, we had sale date being 15 years ago. Say one of them sells tomorrow, it will automatically, as a smart list, pull that off that list and make sure that you stop marketing to it. So that way you don't spend any time, any money, any budget at all going after leads that are not fitting your criteria anymore. So that's going to automatically be just use automation to remove and to add leads too. If a property hits all your criteria that wasn't on there originally, it'll add that lead on there too for you. So that's the goal, is to help you use these lists as strategically as possible, help you use automation as much as possible, and help you really just stack those motivations on top of each other to be able to create a list of leads that you'll see build within 1-2 minutes right here. So that's number two. I mean, one other way you can really use this as well is if you're using if you want to combine the power of of driving and in person and driving around, especially if you're going to like door knock or leave a door hanger or leave a sticky note on the door, do something like that in person. You might want to drive a list, right? You might want to actually drive something that you've pulled here. That is something that we see more and more effective today, even versus a year ago, is being able to get out there and use this. Here we go. Use this drive this list feature right here, where if I'm inside the DealMachine app, I hit drive this list, and the list I just pulled of 63 properties, it'll tell you, hey, it's going to take you 3 hours and 24 minutes to drive this list. Here's the GPS exact directions to drive this list. And here's where you go. You go here, 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 boom, on to the next one, here, 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 on the next one. And it'll actually give you turn-by-turn directions inside the app to drive the list that you just built right here. So that is an awesome way to combine like list builder and the convenience and speed of that with driving for dollars and all the advantages of going in person and trying to have an in-person touch point. So
I love it. That's just, Matt, I mean, that a feature like that, a function like that is crazy good, because everything used to be, oh, I got to draw a line on a map, I got to use the highlighter, but it doesn't change 6 months later. Color doesn't change six months later. It doesn't show me where to go or estimate how long it's going to take. The old way of doing paper, or following paper maps and this, and writing everything down, this is just so much easier. And the speed is right. Profits favor speed. The faster you can get something done, the faster you're going to profit from it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah. So that's our whole goal, is to give you the power of technology to help just save you as much time and really optimize your marketing budget as well as possible. So, yeah, that's the second strategy here. So first strategy was driving for dollars and virtually driving. Second strategy, hey, building a niche list of leads by stacking motivations and then pulling that list and maybe even driving that list. And then third strategy here, what's working really, really well for people is, this is really kind of a little more advanced strategy. It's kind of next level. It's building a team of bird dogs, or deal finders, as we call them inside the app. So this strategy, the idea of this is, hey, you want to outsource as much as possible. You want to build a team, and the people that are scaling, like the people that are doing multiple deals a month and really hitting, playing that numbers game and really hitting those numbers, and not spending all of their personal time getting out there and driving, but having other people do it for them, and build a team around that. This is what they're doing. They're building a team of bird dogs, a team of people getting out there and driving for dollars for them. So what I can show you in the app is just how to add a team member, give them permission, and kind of track their routes. But then I'll go through on the slides here. I've got best practices on how to hire them, how to recruit them, how to train them up, how to manage those drivers. So I'll go through all that for you guys, and then again we'll wrap up with the challenge information for you guys too. So. Let me see if I can switch back over here. Awesome. You can see the app again, right, Tom?
Sure can.
Perfect. Cool. So inside DealMachine, again, this drive tab is the map where you're adding all of these leads, right? This is where you're driving for dollars. This is where you're doing it yourself or you're virtually driving. You can also go, if you click your top right corner, click on your profile and go to team. This is for, and again, this is a more advanced strategy. So this will be for our pro level, customers and up. And when you'll click on that, you can go in and actually invite by email drivers, or you can hit invite, add a driver, add a partner. And like Elliot right here, he's a driver for me. When I go in here, I can actually change his permissions. I can go in and say, hey, only drive, only add leads. You can't do anything else in the app. You're just there to add leads for me. Awesome. You can also have people become a partner where they're actually in the leads tab and they're playing around with the CRM. They're doing, they can adjust statuses, they can make tasks, they can take notes. They're doing all that stuff inside DealMachine too. Or you can even make them an admin where they can have access to billing and sending marketing and spending marketing dollars with you. So make sure you're very conscious of which permission you give them. It defaults to driver, but you can change those permissions if needed. And, when they get out there as a driver, what you can do is, you tell them, hey, go look at the map. You should probably guide them and say like, hey, let me see where I've driven before. Let me give you an assignment to go in this neighborhood or this general area. You're going to have route tracking. And within that route tracking, I can go to this top right button, drives, click on that and see here. Let me filter this by Elliot's drives. And I can see every time he's gotten out there. And I can look and see, hey, he added 21 leads right here. And here's the exact route he took. And here are the exact leads that he added. Here's how long he drove. Here's how far he drove. Here's the route he took. So it'll show me everything around where they drove. And it really helps you use this to hold them accountable. We use this info for paying. We use this info for tax write-offs. We use this info for managing drivers. Like this is super valuable information to have, within kind of like how you build and how you really manage your driving team. So the end goal with this, again, drivers like this, it is like rocket fuel to scale your deals. But because of that, like it is a little bit more of an advanced strategy. So I'll give you guys some pro tips here of what to do to go find these drivers, to train them up, to hire them and all that stuff. So let me see here. Perfect. Okay. So crash course on building the driving team. So first one is recruiting the driver. If you go to, we actually have a couple of resources for you here. This is all free stuff. DealMachine.com/driver. That should be the Indeed job ad posting. You can just copy and paste that ad posting and post this, at really any career site online, but Indeed is where we've had the most success. It's ready to go. It's ready for you to post and basically explain to people and pitch people on the idea to become a driver for you and to go do this for you, become a bird dog for you. So DealMachine.com/driver is that free resource. DealMachine.com/driver contract is a place there is a free resource as well. That's an agreement for the driver to sign, and just makes it a lot easier for you to have, all the right paperwork in place to make it a formal relationship with that driver. So when you're actually recruiting them, we see like, a job site like that is going to be the most reliable place. Like if you want somebody who's going to stick with you and really, if you're treating this as a real business and something that's going to be somebody who's a valuable part of your team over a long period of time and not churn out, that's where I would start. If you're looking at just getting out there and just starting to test this out a little bit, I mean, we do see people talking to like Uber drivers, Lyft drivers, DoorDash drivers, Instacart, like people who are out and about already, adding them that way. We've seen people literally put flyers on their door and say, hey, thanks for delivering this for me. By the way, when you're already out driving, do you want to make more money, add houses for me? Like pitch it that way. Like we've seen people do that. We've seen people go in Facebook groups online and say that are like, hey, side hustles in St. Louis, Facebook groups like that. And, post this there. We've even had people who, you can play that angle of being a little bit of a mentor for somebody and say, hey, if it's a family member, a friend, somebody you met in a REIA group, somebody you met on here tonight, maybe team up and try to drive together and be able to do it that way. You can meet people that way to build your driving team that way. So you've got a lot of options there of places you could potentially hire drivers, but what we see work first and foremost, in terms of long-term sticking power, is the Indeed and job sites like that. So hiring process. So if you're going to go through and actually, if you want some tips on how to hire them, how to really screen them, vet people who, if you have a bunch of people applying, for example, to your Indeed position, then hey, put as many of them through this hoop as possible. Is go out there, put them through a hoop where you can go and say, yeah, I'll give you, which probably the best option would be, hey, I'll give you $20 to go out there for an hour and go add as many leads as you can. And whoever jumps on that quickly, whoever shows they're serious, whoever shows they know how to use the tech, whoever shows, they're a good understanding of what a good lead looks like, that's who's going to be a long-term winner. Like that's somebody who's going to stick with you, and it can quickly whittle down, 30 applicants down to 3 pretty fast. So we see, a great correlation there of people who are going to stick with you and stay around long-term to the people who jump on that, this initial kind of hiring process and kind of, first interview, quote unquote, which is a hoop to jump through like this. Once they've gone through that hoop, awesome. How to train them. Really, there's a couple things that we highly recommend sticking to hold them accountable and really keep them going and keep them an active part of your team. One, if you're going to really be serious about this and you want to do like multiple deals a month, having a very consistent schedule for them of like 20 hours a week minimum recommended. That we see like David Lecko, our CEO, for example, that's what he does with his driving team, as he's got a couple of drivers at that level. And I mean, that's going to equal, that should fill the bucket up very, very quickly of leads and equal, multiple deals a month if you're doing, the follow-up marketing actively and doing that effectively. So, being able to come in and start off by just doing a ride along with them if you're in the same local market as them, show them what you look for when you drive for dollars. And if you do this a little bit yourself, that's going to help you give a little more experience, a little bit, be a little bit more credible in talking to them and training them, right? But being able to go in there, give them a minimum hours per week, give them a minimum on qualified leads per hour, and give them a hard fast rule that they need to attend this weekly driver meeting to hold them accountable and to really manage them. All of those factors are going to lead to long-term success and somebody who doesn't turn out and somebody who, treats this as a real job. So, highly recommend that. In terms of the weekly meeting to manage them and really hold them accountable, do some kind of driver accountability scorecard like this, where you can go in, you can select the date, for that week. You can go in and talk about or fill out the number of hours that the driver did, fill out the number of leads they did based on, again, you can look inside DealMachine and look at the leads they've added, look how long they drove, just really quickly use this tech to help you figure out, how far and what types of leads they added. And then based on that, really, really simple and easy, like, hey, set those goals. And, if they're missing the goals, have a very accountable talk with them. And if you've got multiple drivers, have them all on the call at the same time. So that way you can coach them all together and say, hey, Anthony did a great job this week. Let's look at some of his leads. Or Garcia, we need to pick it up this week. Here, here are your goals every week. What happened this week? Let's coach you through that and avoid that for the future. So use this as a way to help them hold each other accountable and hold them accountable to you, and really bring them all together on that weekly call. So, in terms of training them, managing them, like that's where we highly recommend starting. And actually paying them, like the payment structure, you've got a couple options here. You can pay them commission after a closed deal. So you can pay them, per deal you're doing, essentially. You can pay them per property. So per qualified lead they add in there, pay them 50 cents or $1 per lead. Or what we really recommend is per hour. And, the commission after a closed deal, that could be a decent strategy if you have, a little more casual driver, somebody who's really just getting out there adding leads whenever they can, just as a little carrot for them to work with. But if you're hiring somebody who's going to do this 20 hours a week, be really committed to this, and somebody who's going to stick with you, that per hour option, for sure is what we see and work the best. And, in terms of dollars per hour, I would also recommend looking at what Amazon pays drivers in your market. It's probably like 15 to 20 bucks an hour if I had to guess. So pay a rate that can be comparable or slightly above that. and, go for the people who might consider that job and give them, a job like this with some added upside of, hey, if you add a deal that I close, I'll give you an extra, a couple $100 or what have you. So, if you can approach it that way, there's some really, great levers to pull on to be able to say, hey, yeah, this is, these are great ways to really just get people excited to get out there and consistent in doing it and help them stick long term. And I know David's had drivers that have stuck with him for years doing, with these kind of payment incentive structures. So it's something we see work time and time again. So those are the three methods, guys. Now, you've learned, I mean, we've got driving for dollars and virtual driving for dollars, which again, I'll get into the challenge here in just a second. You've got, building a niche list of leads that is really super motivated because that you're stacking all of those motivators on top of each other. You've got building a driving team, getting out there and really scaling this strategy so that we can reach, again, it's a numbers game. You got to reach those milestones, those, 300 leads to a deal numbers, and doing that over and over and over again to do, your first deal and many deals after that. And, I've tried to go through the nitty gritty, the pro tips of exactly how to do that yourself. So if you're ready to take action on that, if you want to try out DealMachine, I do have 2 special bonuses for you guys. I have DealMachine.com/Tom. That's just a 7-day free trial. It's a bunch of free marketing credits in there too. It's $30 and free inside the DealMachine app. You've got 200 free postcards. Or 200 free skip traces. You got 50 free postcards inside of that. So if you're going to market to owners, using the app, awesome. Here's a way to do it. Like you make sure you go to that link to make it really easy for you and just get the best deal possible versus just going through our website, that's one option for you, is trying it out for free for 7 days. Cool. Perfect. That's kind of your month to month option right there. If you're really ready to commit long term and saying, hey, this is something that I don't want to just do for a few months, but I'm going to fully commit. I'm going to do this for a full year. I'm going to really go full, head into this and really invest in myself and invest in technology to help me out. This is the best option for you. There is, if you go through our website, this would cost you roughly double. This is 45% off for the whole year. So you would get, with this option, you get DealMachine Pro, which that unlocks everything I showed for you. That unlocks 3 drivers for you as well, or 3 users for you, up to 50,000 leads in there. All the map features, the route planning, the route drive this list, the route highlights, the route tracking, all of that stuff. List builder that I was showing off there, the niche lists that you can stack all that on top of each other. That is all included in here. That up to 10,000 leads, an unlimited number of lists that you can build up to that many leads. And they're all smart lists as well that we were talking about earlier. You get all the free marketing dollars in there too. The $30 in free marketing credits all included. And again, if you would just go through our website, it'd be almost double than what you'd be paying for through just DealMachine.com/traction. So I wanted to give you guys those 2 links here. Here are the QR codes for those 2. I'll leave that right here. And Tom, I can take a few questions, as I leave this up for a minute. And then after that, I'll dig into the challenge specifics and, wrap up with that, if that's cool.
Awesome. That sounds good to me. Matt, let's see. I'm going back through just going to go in reverse order here, back to the chat. In virtual driving, what is the follow-up with postcards?
Yeah, so inside DealMachine, you can use postcards either one-off or set it and forget an entire campaign of them. So to show that off, I didn't show that off tonight, but to show that inside the app here. So let me see, here are all the leads that I've added inside DealMachine. When I click on a lead, I can then, and lead being just a physically distressed property, right, that I've added on here. You've got this start mail button. And when you click start mail, you'll see a postcard sent, is going to be sent to them every 21 days, which I can tweak that, and 6 times. And the key with this is truly in the follow-up. It's not just the first postcard, it's the postcard after that and after that and after that. And as Tom very, very much knows, within the sales game and marketing in general, the money is made in the follow-up. And when we look at the data, if you send 1 postcard to somebody, you're actually only going to get that deal. It's less than 20% of the time. It's like 16%. If you only send 3 postcards, you're still missing out on that callback about 52% of the time. So if you want to put yourself in a position to succeed and really stay top of mind with somebody, so that way when they do have that urgent need, when they are motivated, when they do want to call you back, that you're the one they think of because you've been the one sending postcards to them over and over again, and you've stayed top of mind with them. So inside DealMachine, that automation, you can adjust what type of postcard you're sending them. We've got like 9 or 10 default templates you can choose from. We've got handwritten letters. We've got all kinds of stuff. This will show you like, hey, here are all the dates that they're going to send, and here's what they're going to look like when I send them. So you can customize a lot of that stuff inside DealMachine. But when I refer to postcards, that's just marketing that you can send out once you've built that list of leads.
Oh man, that makes life so much easier. Love it.
Oh, Tom, I lost you there. Oh,
let's try that again. Not
there
sure
you
what I cut off. I love that. That makes everything a lot easier. The Chad's asking, he didn't catch how you got to Street View.
Yeah. So, and that was a quick little button pressed by me anyway. This start driving right here. So let me go back to St. Louis. Top right corner, start driving, and inside the mobile app as well, it'll be you hit the drive button and it'll say, hey, do you want to drive in real life or do you want to drive virtually? And when you do that, you hit start driving, click anywhere on the map. Let's see here. Perfect. And then you hit start driving right there, and that's what's going to import the GPS or the Street View into the DealMachine app, and that's where you can start clicking for dollars right here. So hopefully that answered your question there, Chad.
Yeah, nice. How do you customize the tags?
Let's see here. Jumping back into the app right here. Awesome. So when you go to your profile up here, you click profile, and then you can go to application settings, and then you've got lead tags right here. And you can add new tags, create custom tags. Here's the defaults right here. So I can hide them if I want to. But you can get really specific on, whatever tag you want. I always really recommend cash buyers as a tag, level of distress, and then high priority. So. Gotcha.
That's a nice setup too. Matt, I know you, the question here about, can you skip trace? I know you can. So why don't you show us, talk a little bit about how the skip tracing function works?
How to do that? Yeah, sure. So whenever you add a lead here, you'll see two options come up. You got the start mail button right here, which we just went over. Skip trace is the other one. So you hit skip trace and it'll ping our database for phone numbers, email addresses, all that type of information right on the spot there. So you'll see, hey, I've got 2 phone numbers that popped up. I've got an email address. Under the phone numbers, it'll tell you, is it a do not call number? Is it connected, disconnected? Is it mobile? Is it landline? What's the caller ID? A lot of this premium skip trace data right there. So you can do that either one off, or in the leads tab right here, you can select, I could select all 15,000 leads if I went right here, and then go to lead actions and skip trace them in bulk. It'll tell you if you're going to do a big number like that, it'll say, hey, you're about to spend XYZ dollars doing this. Are you sure you want to? So it'll warn you if it's a big number. But you can do all that in bulk as well if you'd like. So
nice. Marilyn's asking about clarifying what happens when the status of a lead changes. So let's say you have a lead that's in pre-foreclosure, but it gets sold, so it no longer matches your criteria. Does the list automatically update? Like, will that one drop out of your search, your criteria?
Yeah. Anytime that in general, these smart lists, it just updates your lists automatically if there's something that fits the criteria or does not. So that next day it would stop it, and it would pull it out and also stop the marketing to it, or add a lead and start marketing to it. So
gotcha. And let's see, you showed the first year pricing. What happens the second year and beyond?
Yeah, so this is 45% off for 12 months. You go at the end there, you can either cancel that subscription, obviously, or ideally, once you've used it for 12 months, the goal is, hey, you've done deals. You've done your first deal, you've done multiple deals. At that point, it's an absolute no-brainer in terms of ROI. And that's our whole goal with you guys, is we want to give you a great deal to get going, to go land that first deal and land many after that, like the 10,000 plus deals that have been landed using DealMachine. And that way, at that point, you're a happy customer, and you're ready to go after that. So it's 45% off just for the 12 months. After that, it would be our normal pricing. But the goal here is, we want to get you guys going and get you guys doing deals and having an awesome bang for your buck for those 12 months. So
Gotcha. Yeah, awesome. Mike's asking, with mailings, do you need to skip trace to make sure the postcard goes to the owner's address if the owner doesn't live at the property, or how is that handled if it's not owner occupied?
no, if it's absentee owned, it's going to go to the right address as well. So, regardless if you skip trace or not, it's going to go to their actual primary, their actual residence.
Yeah, as shown in the tax records.
Yeah, exactly.
So you don't need the skip trace to do it, but if you do
For the
skip trace,
mail.
you can send it to the skip trace sourced address as well.
Yeah, correct.
Awesome. Good. Thanks, Matt. And Gal's asking, how old is the street view?
Yeah, that's a great question. I should have covered that for you guys. So if you're in the virtual driving for dollars mode again, here, let me go back to this for you guys. Hit start driving. Now, what you want, probably the biggest pro tip I can give you when it comes to virtually driving for dollars is you want to compare the photo taken date to the last sale date. So you can see right here, hey, this photo was taken June 2022, so it's pretty recent. You'd be surprised by how often Google drives by, these neighborhoods. You've got most, of the top, I'd say 50 markets, a lot of them, it'll be within the last year or two in most neighborhoods there. So a lot of times you'll find up-to-date pictures, but even if it's not up to date, say it's a picture that's 4, 5, 6 years old, if that house is in really bad condition or just not in great condition when you look at it on the map, and then you look and see, hey, yeah, this was sold, this was 1998 right here. Say this was not in good condition, and the picture was taken in 2008 or something like that, or 2000, no, not that long ago. It'll be 2018. I could then compare and figure out the sale date versus when that picture was taken. And even if it's, an older picture, but the sale date is still, a long time ago or still before that when that picture was taken, it's still owned by the same person. It's still very much, highly likely that it's going to be a really, really qualified lead there. So I would say just always compare the last sale date to when that picture was taken when you add a lead, and, weed out the ones that have been not taken a picture of since that it's been sold. Gotcha.
I'll tell you what, Matt, I'll continue going through the chat later, but let's talk about the challenge.
Yeah, happy to. Let's see here, jump back into this. Yeah, I wanted to make sure I could answer questions for you guys and give you a second to be able to scan these if you wanted to get started. The challenge here, so I know we've been teasing this, we've been talking about this quite a bit already, but wanted to announce for you guys that starting tomorrow, we're kicking off the 7 days of traction finding off-market deals challenge. If you go to traction.com or tractionchallenge.com, which we've been throwing that link out there already, that is where you're going to be able to sign up for free. And throughout this challenge, we're going to go through, again, starting tomorrow, your next 7 days, it's going to be 3 live trainings. So tomorrow is going to be really walking you through, again, how to really build that list. It's going to help you set goals. It's going to hold you accountable. It's going to really outline giveaways. It's going to really get you fired up and started on this challenge. So Friday is going to be the first live training tomorrow afternoon. So make sure, again, tractionchallenge.com to sign up for that for free. We're going to be giving you this playbook, helping you overcome challenges like taking questions like this. And again, assigning homework that's going to really help you hold yourself and hold other people in the challenge accountable. So tractionchallenge.com is where we're going to be able to sign up for that. Those 3 live trainings, in between those, we're going to be having pro tips over email. So we're going to be sharing out pro tips on exactly how to execute on this stuff, the step-by-step, exactly what you need to do to go land that first deal and many deals after it, right? So we're going to give you those shortcuts that thousands of investors have found themselves and have proven out. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be checking in your progress, throughout these 7 days too. And then in addition to all this stuff, we're going to be giving away over $2,000 of free stuff, free giveaways that the key to that is you qualify for those if you do the homework. You qualify for those if you show us, hey, I'm taking this serious. I'm getting out there. I'm holding myself accountable. I'm getting ready to actually take action, and you show us that you're doing that. So we're going to be giving away a ton of free stuff in addition to this. There you go. There's the link in the chat. Make sure to click on that link, be able to register there. Super excited to do this with you, Tom. Here's the link again for you guys. Do you want to talk at all about like your goals with the challenge and why you thought now was such a great time to launch this too?
Well, the weather's getting better, a lot of spots. Spring's getting out there. A lot of people will have some damage from the past couple seasons, so it's generally good. I think it's a good time to get out and about. What I started off with earlier as well, being that we're kind of at the end of the first quarter of this year already, how fast time goes. I want to make sure that we get focused and moving now. And I also want to encourage everyone, if you're already a DealMachine client, jump in on the challenge as well. It's not just for new people, it's anyone. Jump in, use it. Let's go get some deals. Motivated sellers need us. Rundown houses need us. Those neighborhoods need us. Those people need us. And we're the ones that fix that. No one else gets to go in and fix up neighborhoods. No, it's not big money. It's not big banks. It's us. It's the individual. It's the individual guys and gals that are investors that get in there and really turn neighborhoods around and kind of get those old houses back to life. And that's what we're after. So I think a challenge is a great way of doing it. I know a lot of people like rise to the challenge. It's fun that way. We want to turn it into a bit of a game and have a good time with it. And that's why we're doing that now.
Love it, man. Yeah, I'm excited to kick this off tomorrow with you. I know Tom will be on all the live trainings, us together. Again, the first one's going to be really building out that list. The second one's going to be marketing to sellers and really giving you the full playbook on exactly how to do that in the most successful way possible. And then the third live training is going to be really focused on working your deals, working the pipeline, closing deals, making offers, all of that stuff. So excited to do all this stuff. And I want to say happy deal finding to you guys. Good luck with all of this. I know I'll leave this up for you. Happy to stick around and answer questions for you guys as well here for a few more minutes. But wanted to make sure that we announced the challenge and gave you guys a way to sign up before people had to drop. So
yeah, absolutely. Matt, we're recording the trainings. I'd love for everyone to jump on live, but if there's going to be, I know we're streaming to a bunch of places, so it's recording as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the challenges will record. Again, if you register at tractionchallenge.com, you'll get the replays too. So make sure to sign up there and you're going to get the emails for that. We are going to be live streaming it as well, but if you do tractionchallenge.com, that's how you're officially entered into the challenge. So
cool. Melissa's asking, if we get a deal, who do we sell the contracts to? Or where do we find the buyers if they're out of state? We're going to build a buyers list, which is honestly, Melissa, once you have a great deal on hand, finding the buyer is the easier part because there's REIA groups everywhere. You can reach out to them. There's investors everywhere. You can reach out to them. Look for who's advertising, trying to find properties, like who's putting out "We Buy Houses" type ads, and contact them to sell it to. Is that what you would do, Matt?
Yep. Yeah. And was just answering Nancy in the chat there. It's at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow for the kickoff, but
4 p.m. Eastern in each of those days at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. For cash buyers as well, we do have a filter inside DealMachine. So like, for example, if you get that annual deal, the 45% off one under list builder, you can also filter out by likely cash buyers is one of the filters. So you can pull a list of them that way as well. So you've got a variety of ways to go about doing it, but you're right. Like once you have a killer deal, the cash buyer is much easier to persuade.
They come out of the woodwork looking for good deals. It's it's good that way. Awesome. That's the package. I use that annual package because then I've got everything and can use all the power of it. Let's see. The challenge assumes that you have purchased the product. No, Jessica, there's a 7-day free trial. So 7-day challenge, 7-day free trial. You're welcome to do it for free. If you like it, jump in and keep going. If you don't, that's cool. Let's see. Donna's asking, can we show the monthly cost again there, Matt?
Yeah. So in us in general, like if you compare us to any other technology in our space, we definitely really focus on being one of the most cost-effective options out there. Our starter plan is only $59 a month. And then I know our pro plan is $99 a month. If you're going to build a huge driving team, it can be a couple $100 a month if you add on like all the bells and whistles, but $59 a month is our starter. So
cool. 4 p.m. again, because I'm still seeing questions about the time. At 4 p.m. You'll get all that information. Just register for the challenge, tractionchallenge.com. You'll have all the replays, all the extra trainings, invitations to the live trainings Matt and I are going to do, and recordings of each of those. Is there a homework for tonight? Well, Tony's ready to go, I think. Matt, should we give him an assignment?
The only homework tonight is register for the challenge and you're good to go.
Gotcha. That should be an easy one, Tony. We got you covered.
There you go.
Let's see. Thanks, Killian. You put in the different days and the topics we're covering. They will be recorded again. Make sure you're on, just register there and then Attraction Challenge and you'll get the recordings as well. Christopher's asking if we sign up today, does that count as day one of the trial? So it only takes 3 hours of the first day. Is it, how does that work, man? Is it calendar days or is it like, you know, to exactly 8:30 or exactly whatever? How does that work?
Yeah, it's closer to time. So I'll validate with my team to make sure that if you guys, you know, if you start your trial tonight and you get to, you know, day 7 and it, you know, hit by a day on accident, I'll make sure you guys either don't get charged or are refunded. You know, I'm here to help you guys. So I don't want to hold you to that. My email is matt@dealmachine.com. So I just put that in the chat. So I'll consider me a resource in general for this entire group, but especially through the challenge, if you're committing to yourself, if you're getting out there, you're trying it out, you know, hopefully you see the value from it, you know, in those 7 days, but you know, if not, then hey, I'll help you out that way too. So.
Gotcha. And Chad's asking, what if he already has a monthly subscription? Chad, then we still want you to participate in the challenge and use it. So sign up for the challenge. Yeah. You'll be moving along with us. If you want to take advantage of one of those annual deals that Matt had on screen and save half off for next year, you can go ahead and upgrade into that. Hit that again if there's any balancing or changing. Matt will take care of it.
Yeah. If you want to upgrade, Chad, just email me direct too. That'll be easier to take care of and make sure that you guys get the special stuff there if you're a current customer already. So
yeah, if you're already a customer, go ahead. If you're already a customer, email me, email Matt, and then we'll make sure you get taken care of. That way you know where you're at. Can you export data from DealMachine to send SMS text message blast to potential buyers?
You can. So let's see here. I'll go back to the leads list here. So under leads, you can go.
Is there anything this doesn't do, Matt?
we've worked for quite a while. Yeah, and it's funny, like, so one of our main competitive advantages too is we are just very agile in terms of our tech development. Like we really have doubled down on our engineering team. And how all the features that we add into here is from listening to you guys and Q&A like this, saying like, hey, can it do this? It should do this. It should do that. And we've evolved the app to really fit that for you. So we want to make it as simple and easy to begin and onboard and use, but also as powerful as possible to really scale with you and really help you as you become a more advanced investor, help you, you know, do things like hiring a driving team to go out there and drive for you. So you know, one example of that would be exporting leads. Like you can go in here and, you know, if you click on, you know, all my leads right here, awesome. Go to lead actions, go to export leads, and right there, it'll put it in a file that you can then import into, you know, an SMS text blast or a dialer or, you know, anything like that. We try to play well with other tools like that. So
it's insanely intuitive. I love it. Let's see what else we got in here. Gal's asking, what's the difference between the standard and the pro plan?
So our starter plan is for one user, and you know, there are a couple features that you need pro to unlock, like the highlights button, the drive a list feature. So a couple of the more advanced things are for the DealMachine Pro user. DealMachine Pro is also going to get 3 people in your account as well. So if you want to like hire a driver and stuff. So the starter is really like, hey, if you're just doing this part-time, just dabbling, just trying to get into it a little bit, you know, you can start a starter. If you're taking a little more serious, you want to bring on drivers with you, you want all the bells and whistles, like pros what you want to go with there. So
excellent. Let's see, I'm scrolling back to see if I missed anything. I think we're good. Let's see what else can in there. Matt's email address again.
Yeah.
Put on there. I got that one there. I can
thanks, Mike.
copy paste that. Copy pasted too much. Let's see here.
You get 3 users with pro tier, Rhonda. So.
3. Okay, cool. All right, Rhonda, 3 users with pro. Awesome. And all right. Any other questions? Anything else in general? I mean, I'm looking forward to having fun. I'm going to be out there driving with you guys. Not literally with you. I'll be driving with my son Tommy, who's excited to do the challenge. So we're going to be out all week with you, building our list, hitting some different areas. and building it up, and then approaching the buyers and approaching the sellers, because I'm excited for that. So because challenges are good like that. It's literally rising the challenge. It turns it into a fun game. I don't know about you, but a lot of times when I got to get something done, if I gamify it and turn it into a game, it's so much more interesting, fun, compelling, and it focuses as well. So that's one of the reasons we're doing this as well. Let's see, Matt. Linda's asking, how long does each session last of the 3 sessions?
Yeah, so they'll be roughly an hour. Might run a little bit longer with Q&A and things like that, but we'll aim for an hour or so for you. Again, we'll email out the replays too for you as well. But so Linda, plan for an hour-ish. Mark, can anyone else view your list? Any list that you create is only for you and you alone. So, if you tag leads, if you're doing all that stuff, like that's just your list that is not shared between any DealMachine accounts. What if you have several bird dogs? So we do have a DealMachine Teams plan as well. So that would be like the higher end. I believe, let me double check the pricing on that, because I know we recently shifted that around. That would be $299 a month, and that's for up to 15 drivers and up to 500,000 leads in your account. So that's like, hey, if you're building a big team, big driving team, if you're aiming to do like multiple deals a month, then that's easily worthwhile for you to run with that one. But if you're not at that level yet, then I would say stick to like pro probably. So
get moving with what you got. Get moving on the 7 days. Do it yourself so you learn what it is. If you want to bring other drivers on, then that option's there in the future. It's a great way of building it up. Yep. So that's the cool thing when it grows with you and it can go in the direction you want to bring your business in. Awesome. All right. I think I'm scrolling back. I don't think we missed any questions. We'll see if any more pop in, but anything else we need to know, Mr. Kamp? Anything? I'm
excited, man. I was going to say, like, the thing with the challenge too is just, you really in general kind of give each other permission to go out there and take action. Like there's so much information out there, so many ways, so many things that you're educating yourself on. There's so many things, so many different, strategies you could be doing in real estate. There's just so much out there that it's easy to get analysis paralysis, and this challenge is designed to help you overcome that, help you lead with action first, help give you a very simple, straightforward process with very goal-oriented homework that, hey, if I follow this strategy, thousands of people before me, this has worked. Like, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I need to start here. I need to go and take action. And then I learn as I continue to go. And it's easy to have that limiting belief of feeling like you need to know everything before you take step one. Whereas in reality, like, you're going to learn as you go. Like, and that's what I'm excited with this challenge, is to help you see that, help you start taking that action, and help you go land that first deal and many after it. So
bingo. I mean, that's driving for deals is one of the most accessible, easiest. I mean, you just go. There's no cost. People say gas. Well, then fine. Then virtually drive for the week. It's a free trial for the week. So it really could be no cost for you. We want to get you out there, get you moving, give you some clarity on what that is. We're going to keep you clear during the week as we go. Get you moving, because once you're in motion, we can get that momentum and just leverage that momentum to move forward. It's awesome that way. So thanks, man. I saw that as well. I'll vouch for that, Donna. I'm an Android user. I guess I'm not cool enough to be in the Apple Club. So I'm an Android user. It works just fine. I've been using it and I love it that way. So it's super duper cool. All right. I think we're in good shape. Anything else, let me know. If not, Matt, fantastic. Thank you for everything. Looking forward to working with you during the week and working with everyone else. So jump on tractionchallenge.com and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, I'll see you all tomorrow. And thanks again for having me on.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Tom.
All right, gang. So for the main meeting of March 2023, Main Traction Real Estate Investors Association meeting, it's Tom Zeeb and Carolina Zeeb from Sarasota, Florida tonight, signing off.